Thanks for watching Great Day Colorado. I'm Jeff Schroeder.
And I'm Denise Plant. And you know, just because it's spring, it doesn't mean we're completely out of the woods yet. A snowstorm could still come to Denver. And if it does, you want to be ready for it.
Andrew Sams is the owner of Alpine Building Performance, and he's joining us now with 3 things that you need to pay attention to when it comes to your home. Welcome in, Andrew. Good to see you, my friend.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, well, let's get to this, because when people think about winter damage, they think about roofing issues or structural problems, right? But what actually causes the most damage?
Sure. So, you know, moisture is the enemy of any home or building. And so it's that slow moisture intrusion over time that really causes the most damage. It's not necessarily the headlines like a collapsing roof or things like that. So really focusing on preventing that slow moisture entry over time.
And then if it freezes, it's even worse.
Exactly. That's that freeze-thaw cycle, certainly.
There are 3 things we can do to prevent this before the next big snowstorm hits.
Yes. So the 3 things, you know, as inspectors that we recommend, gutters and downspouts are key. So getting water away from the home is really the theme that we're looking at here. So proper gutters and downspouts, making sure they're clean too. And this is something that also applies in the spring when we get heavy rains. So we want to make sure we're channeling water at least 5 or so feet away from the foundation. The second thing is grading and drainage. Again, just making sure water or that snow melt is flowing away from the home. And third is really checking the roof health and condition. So penetrations around chimneys and plumbing penetrations, things like that, making sure the water's not getting into the attic and therefore into the house.
Yeah, and kind of adding on to what you said about the freeze-thaw cycle. I mean, that breaks up concrete, anything on your home, that's going to crack in half, right?
It does, yeah. So the freeze-thaw cycle, basically what happens is when water freezes, it expands, and that expansion can put a lot of stress and pressure on the foundation, but it can also do a lot of harm to sidewalks, driveways, things like that as well.
So what are some maybe minor issues we should be on the lookout for before they turn into major issues?
Sure. So, you know, really, I'd say the main thing to keep an eye out for is looking for moisture staining. You know, a lot of times these things, they happen so slowly. If you're not keeping an eye on ceilings and things like that to look for moisture stains, those can slowly develop over time into greater damage and even lead to some mold issues as well.
Do you just walk around your house and you're like, we need to fix that? Because that's what I do at my house, and I'm not an inspector.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It's a problem. It's hard. You know?
Absolutely. So after winter, right? Because it seems like we're out of the woods, but we're totally not. Is there some problems that come up actually later in spring, early summer that you don't see right away?
Yeah, you know, a lot of these things are pretty gradual, you know, and so it is kind of a slow creep, especially with some of those moisture issues. Same goes for plumbing leaks and things like that as well. They just really can take a long time to manifest. So just continuously keeping an eye on things. But yeah, a lot of that kind of late winter, early spring damage can kind of show up a little bit later on in the season.
Is it too late for prevention right now?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. You know, keeping an eye on these things right now is key. Like you said, we could certainly get more precipitation. Obviously, we're going into spring as well. And then really just, you know, having an ongoing maintenance, an eye for maintenance, you know, quarterly or so, checking these things is really key. You know, and one pro tip I'd like to say is, you know, as we get into spring, this is a great time to get HVAC serviced as well. A lot of people will wait till, you know, those peak heating or cooling days in the summer and the peak heating days in the winter, but spring and fall are a great time to get ahead of that home maintenance and HVAC.
And you recommend getting those cleaned out, right?
I do, yeah.
Absolutely.
I do. And then having a professional service to make sure that they're not failing when you need them the most and, you know, the peak of the summer.
You are not coming over to my house, my friend.
Quick shout out to your wife.
Yeah. So my wife and her partner, Elizabeth Wellington, Sarah Battani Sam, started Moms Feeling Themselves. It is
big dance party.
It is a maternal mental health dance party. So it started here in Denver, and they've got the Mother's Day Rager coming up at the Gothic in May, so keep an eye out for that.
Nice.
Yeah. Go back to some old videos. You can see me shaking my rump.
Not his rump.
That's a good lead in here. Make sure your home is ready when the next storm comes. Alpine Building Performance can help make sure everything is up to date and good to go. To learn more, head to alpinebuildingperformance.com or just give them a call, 720-612-1469. That applies if you want to dance, too.